Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Vegeta XYZ. What it do, my son? And you're watching the Gamertag podcast, and I'm here with my main man.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy 3MG, representing 3MG Nation, back here with the Gamertag podcast once again. Man, I've been out of the weather this whole week, but we back here. We got a lot of stuff. Well, we got some decent amount of stuff to talk about, some in-depth things for this week. You know, we're trying to keep it short and simple. But Jay, what is one of the things you wanted to mention with the UFC first, with the McGregor thing?
Yo, we're officially like 13 days away. 14 days away from the Conor McGregor versus Rafael Dos Anjos fight.
I can't wait,
March
bro.
5th, live on pay-per-view. History will be made, and I'm going to tell y'all how Conor McGregor will knock out RDA.
Let him know.
It will be by a left uppercut. Boom! Hadouken!
Dos Anjos? Dos Anjos?
He goes like this. He likes to kind of go over and duck. and if
Hendricks.
but if you're practicing the uppercut, right? Because what they're going to say is he's going to pressure and he's going to want to take Conor McGregor down. So if you take somebody down, you have to do this. If your favorite move is this, so that's two options where if I hit you with the you're done.
So yeah, he's in trouble, basically, because I'm going to leave it all up to McGregor because, they do say lefties are vicious. For a fact, they say lefties are vicious because everybody's so used to everything being on the right end. For one thing, when I watch McGregor's fights now, I actually took a look at some of his highlights. He always laces somebody with the left hand. So I'm just like, all right, what do you call it?
It's called the touch of death. One of the best trainers, the guy who trains George St. Pierre at TriStar, I forget, it's like Zahari Faris. I can't say his name for the life of me, but he calls it in his breakdowns the touch of death. And it's very true because everyone he touches with that left hand goes night, night. Night, night. No, March 5th. And I got my boy, MMA Quick Hits. Yo, that man bet $5,000.
5,000?
He bet $5,000 on Conor McGregor. Yo, he got me hyped. I'm like, woo. I'm going for Conor McGregor, but fuck.
I hate hearing that, though. I hate hearing when people bet big money. Yeah, because then when shit hits the fan, it's one of the worst feelings. When I lost $150 to the Pacquiao fight, it was one of the worst feelings of all time. I was only lucky to make back 100 because I did bet 100 on Mayweather just in case. Oh yeah, UFC 2 is dropping in about 2 weeks, so I think the EA Access is gonna roll up so that people on Xbox One can get the 10-hour trial on it, which is the full game. I'm gonna go ahead, jump on that to get a little gist of just all the fighters and stuff like that, learn the mechanics and stuff before the official release of the game. But no, I will not be buying it on the Xbox One. Obviously, it's gonna come home with me on PS4. I really wish the PC would have gotten it, but with mods and stuff, they'll lose a tremendous amount of sales numbers with that one. But I just can't wait for that game. But other than that, anything else we want to touch base on with UFC, or are we clear with the UFC talk?
No, we clear with the UFC talk. Dragon Ball Super episode 32 came out this Saturday, and they started the Universe 6 arc where you got to meet the new characters. So you got to meet characters like Botamo, Frost, Hit, Kaba, the Saiyan from Universe 6 from Planet Salad. If you guys have not jumped on Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super yet, you guys need to jump on that because the next episode is the first fight between Goku and Botamo, son.
All right, where can they watch this?
www.google.com. Type in watch Dragon Ball Super episode 1.
He said, I thought he was gonna say Kiss Anime or something like that. He just literally said google.com. Come on, man.
No, you know why? Because like the Kiss Anime, the Go Anime and stuff like that, the .io, .to, like it always changes because it's like when one website gets taken down, another one pops up.
Yeah,
so
and they try to change their
Google it.
Yeah. No. Your best bet is to just Google it or get like apps on your phone like PlayBox HD or Cinema Box HD because they always up to date. They always update their app with the latest episodes on a bunch of shows. With Dragon Ball Z especially. So hopefully the series continues as well because I'm hearing a lot of people are actually enjoying it. Been seeing a lot of covers on YouTube. A lot of people talking about the episodes prior and previous, whatever. But
here's the thing that no one's talking about though.
Ready? What's up?
All right, Dragon Ball Super. Everybody's talking about the new characters, who's fighting who's gonna win. But nobody's talking about where is the 7th Super Dragon Ball. The whole point of the tournament is, okay, Champa loves the food on planet Earth. Planet Earth is in Universe 7, and they're having this tournament because the winning team gets Earth and then able to transport Earth from Universe 7 to Universe 6, or Universe 6 to Universe 7 to Universe 6. You have to use the Super Dragon Balls. But they only have 6 of them. So that means there's a 7th Dragon Ball that is missing that no one seems to talk about because they're so caught up in the hype of the new characters. But the real question is, where is the 7th Dragon Ball? What that tells me is that when this tournament is done, Dragon Ball Super will continue because they have to find this Dragon Ball for whoever wins the tournament.
That being said, it sounds like they're actually saving up more time for the show, and they're not going to end the series just like that. There's probably going to be some big controversy going on or some big battles going on, whereas they're going to have people fighting over this planet even though there's no Dragon Balls. Even though they haven't found the last Dragon Ball. So I'm interested to see who's going to come forth and just say, listen, we're just taking it. This is ours. You know what I'm saying? Because, Dragon Ball, they're not going to just end it good and gravy, whoever wins that tournament. It ain't even going to be whoever wins that tournament. It's going to be whoever wins that tournament is going to be pissed off because they still don't have the Dragon Ball. And then I guess whoever finds this Dragon Ball, it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. So from what you just said, I can already see that they're going to continue Dragon Ball Z Super. So I don't know if people are talking about that. You said they're not, right?
No one's talking about it. Everyone in the community is talking about who's battling, who's going to win, who's going to get there. No one's talking about where's the 7th Dragon Ball. Like, where there's Super Dragon Balls the size of the planet. Where is the 7th Dragon Ball? And to whoever the new villain that may arise, you have to have something that's like an epic wish. You're not going to wish for immortality because you can get the Namekian Dragon Balls, the original one, or even the Earth Dragon Balls to do that wish. So if someone is planning and plotting to get the Super Dragon Balls, that means you have to be wishing for something that's massive, something that's just like out of this world.
To take over the whole world, probably, but...
Yeah, or maybe to like even kill a god, kill Beerus or kill Whis, because even Shenron, the Earth Dragon, is afraid of Beerus. So that says something. So maybe they might use the Super Dragon Ball to kill one of the gods.
That's why I was saying all this, because I know it ain't going to just come that easy where whoever wins the tournament, they get the ball and they're just going to wish that their planet has that. There's going to be something more bigger than this. There is definitely something huger than this coming in. So I don't know if they're going to use it to destroy one of the gods, if they're going to use it to take over everyone, to take over the whole world. So would they really use that, sacrifice that to bring someone back? Like I said, there's a whole bunch of shit that can happen. So
what website can I watch? Bruh, Google. You can Google anything.
Google the whole fucking shit.
Go Google right now. I want to buy chocolate ants, and I guarantee you there will be chocolate ants for sale.
I swear to God, there probably is. Yes, you're not lying. Moving on though. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the whole Samsung Galaxy S what?
Yeah, the Galaxy S7 is coming out, the iPhone 6S. They've been doing comparisons. And just on the stat sheet alone, I don't know the specifics, but I did read it and run through it. The S7, paper-wise, blows the iPhone out the water.
Yeah, it does.
I'm talking about like 2 gigs of RAM for the iPhone, 4 gigs of RAM for the S7. You're talking about 3 milliamp battery for the S7, like a 1680 for the iPhone 6S. Now, at the end of the day, what the stat sheet is and what the real world user ability is are 2 different things. So right now, on paper, the S7 is ahead, but everyone knows that iPhone, technology-wise, has always kind of been like a step behind. But as far as user ability, it's always been liquid smooth. Obviously, there's some little glitches here and there, but for the most part, it's always been liquid smooth. And that's what really counts. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 horsepower in a car. If you could only go 60 miles an hour, who gives a shit?
Exactly. That actually makes a huge point right there. You made a huge point. Honestly, you know, Samsung, it doesn't really surprise me when they do come out with this, because they always push forward with a lot of their technology. Obviously, we're not stupid. We know Apple's gonna probably come out their way with something probably great too. But with Samsung, my only biggest issue was when they eliminated the memory card slot and the memory card slot and the battery slot. That was one of my biggest things. But I think you told me, or someone told me, that it left them room for other, ideas and stuff like that for the phone itself. And that's one of the biggest things I loved about Samsung phones, was that it was my personal computer, basically. And with 4 gigs of RAM, that's a lot. this is a fact though with Samsung phones, with Galaxies, Notes, and all that. Over time, your phone starts to freeze up. You know, because it's just like a computer, and you have so much programs running in the background. It does tend to freeze up. But this 4 gigs of RAM sounds pretty good to me, man.
That's crazy, and that goes into the next subject when they were saying Apple was saying that the handheld will be better gaming-wise than your console.
They did come out saying that the future of mobile gaming will probably be better than consoles, and then Apple came out and said that the future of their products will be better than gaming, better than the Xbox One and PS4, performance-wise. That can be true, that can be false, but I do know one thing: Apple is not ahead in the gaming market at all. They're ahead of technology. They're ahead of of what their craft, right? But I know we're not stupid. Microsoft and Sony, if they see that mobile gaming is becoming far more superior than their specialty, than their craft, they're obviously gonna. I don't even think Sony and Microsoft are looking at it that way. I mean, in some ways they are, because you have something like the PS Vita, which they had a cell phone made cellular data plan that you was able to connect it to a phone. So I know they had ideas of implementing a phone system or mobile gaming. Obviously PSP, remember? And with Windows, they have the Windows Phone. Now you're trying to stream your Xbox One games to your Windows Phone. So I know they're trying to keep mobile gaming in their head and as an idea. But I don't see Apple or even mobile gaming becoming far more superior than even the Wii U or consoles, period. I don't think they're up to that.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? There's a plethora of things that's going to happen, right? So when video games on the phone becomes better, graphically, multiplayer, everything becomes better, it's going to force console makers to give you a much better product. For people that are around our age range, we grew up with the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, the Dreamcast, the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4. We went through the stages. So for us, we love the nostalgia of a console. For someone like my son or my daughter, it's like they grow up with the games on the phone. So that's what they will grow up to know. But my thing is, what I think Microsoft, and we are calling the future right now. What I think Microsoft is going to do is the virtual reality headsets that they're creating, where you can see everything and make your living room become like a real place or whatever. They're going to make that where it connects to your cellular device. So when you go out into the real world, you can interact with three-dimensional objects digitally and just Bluetooth connected straight from your phone. And you're talking about a phone device that has, 12 gigs of RAM, special graphical card that can instantly stream, and you can have your headset on that you wear around the world, and you go out and you just do the damn thing.
Well, you see, that being said, and you pointing out that Apple is even working on their own VR, and this was to be expected. Samsung got their VR headset. I think it's already out, and it's compatible with, I think, at least a Note 4.
Can't wait to watch porn on that thing.
I mean, shit, if I was able to touch the women in there, I would be even more amazed. Why you gotta wink your eye like that? Yeah, that's a creepy ass shit, yo. Imagine. But I mean, their way of doing it, I think, was different from mobile gaming because of the technology. I think, when you do look left and right, I think there was a little bit of force feedback to that, and I like that, a little bit of animation.
Imagine combining this, right? Everyone that's under 18, leave the chat right now or leave the video for about 1 minute. Imagine you got the VR headset on, right? And then you know how they have the technology where, like, if you're chatting your girlfriend or your wife or something, right, you can like stick your penis in like the fake vagina, and then the penis on her end will move. So you literally can have sex like that, right? Man. So imagine mixing that with the virtual reality, but then you're looking at like your girlfriend or your wife, or if you're single, you're looking at like your favorite porn star or your favorite celebrity or whatever it is.
What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Yo, that's like Total Recall shit.
Yo, listen, man, they have something that's coming out. It's an indie game, sex toy. Listen, man.
Wait. How do you know?
Because we spoke about that in the GMG show about a couple weeks ago. But you had this whole idea. It looked like you've been wanting to say this for a minute because you didn't stutter. You didn't wait a second. You said this shit without any hesitation. But it sounds like an okay idea. It sounds dope. It sounds fun.
Because I know I'm a buy it for my son. I'm gonna be like, yo, when my son turns 16, I'm gonna be like, here you go, boy, enjoy yourself.
Damn,
here's a
son.
1 year subscription to Penthouse or whatever, digital, whatever.
Fucking Pornhub digital, Pornhub the game. No,
Yeah.
but the point is, like, Apple's making their own VR. Samsung, they got their own VR coming out. Almost everything now is dropping with VR. I think it's not too early. I'm not gonna say it's early, actually. You know, let it come out. And with, as far as iPhone being far more superior than PS4 and Xbox One, it may even be so. You know, it may even be as powerful than them. But it's really not even about that anymore. It's about the games. Like, our third-party developers is Ubisoft, and they got games for the phone. Don't get me wrong, they got mobile games. But I'm talking about the big titles. Are they going to make another port to go over to mobile gaming, or Apple? You know, to go over, like, do you really think they're going to do that?
Yeah, no, you make an extremely good point. My thing is, and I think it's just my generation, you know, I get nostalgia from sitting on the couch with a bowl of chips and watching a movie or playing a video game, yo. Like I don't even watch movies on my phone. Like, I'll listen to podcasts and shit and watch your boy Ricky on 3MG Nation, you know what I'm saying?
You already know.
But no, I don't watch or play video games on my phone, even though I have the LG G4 and the nice screen and all that stuff. I like to watch it on a TV. But what you're saying is absolutely true with the third-party developers and the developers. What are they going to create for these new platforms? Because if the industry and these companies are pushing virtual reality headsets, then that will be the shift in gaming. Because what happens is these big companies, when they all collectively put out a new product towards a certain genre or avenue, that's where everything starts to shift and focus on. You know, people like to believe, oh, well, you know, we control what's developed and what's brought out. That is very true to an extent, because Steve Jobs has said it himself. People don't know what they want. So if they give us a virtual reality headset that is affordable, that has 4K screen resolution, that has beautiful sound quality like the PlayBudz headset, and
you got me fucked up.
And it's very affordable, I don't see why anybody would not buy it.
And that's with any VR headset, by the way. We already know that the price of the Xbox One might be even that expensive, too expensive, or Sony's. But let alone just even without VR, the point of a cellular device, people are neglecting the fact or forgetting that fucking phones are used to talk to people. What the fuck happened to that? Because the talking feature sucks. Yo, have you noticed? Calls drop. I can't hear you. Hello. Hello. They focus so much on cameras, on fucking apps, recording 4K video 60 frames. But when I call my girl and I can't hear her right, it almost sounds like she's with another man doing it, because she sounds. I'm like, yo, hello? I'm like, what the fuck you doing? She goes, babe, you're cutting off. I'm like, oh, my bad. Like, it sounds that bad. They lost touch with what cellular devices were for. And, you know, personally, I know I shouldn't be speaking, because obviously you're fucking calling my phone right now. And stop fucking calling me.
Hello, Richard.
Yo, it idiot, man. They can compete. It's really about is Ubisoft or EA going to drop a Battlefield or an Assassin's Creed game on your mobile device? Because, yeah, there are some games that can compete visually with, and the physics of the game can compete with console games. There are games that look that good, but it's really about the people or the person or the company making the game. Are they going to drop the full game? Not a spin-off, not an app version, an actual game. Yo, Need for Speed does that, Batman, NBA, Madden, like they do spin-off games. You get what I'm saying? They don't do the full experience.
That shit gets me mad, yo. I'm like, you know, it's like, if you're going to create a game for the phone, create a full-fledged game for the phone. I get it if you're giving a free game and there's ads on it and you're giving a partial game. I get it. But if someone's going to pay $7.99 or $9.99 for that damn video game, give the person a full-on video game.
Exactly. That's all you got to do. I mean, the Ouya or the Nvidia Shield failed miserably. It's one of those that where they were coming out with their own console and they weren't getting the support from all these companies. Like, even the Wii U struggles to get support. from all these devs to get their third party because it just can't run off of it. So I mean, hey, just moving on with that because that could take its own show talking about mobile gaming and the how it evolved to where it's at now. But the Division beta, have you played the Division beta at all this weekend, or were you busy doing the editing? Right?
I've been really busy doing the editing, man. It's draining, but I haven't played the Division beta for some reason. I feel like just from watching it, and obviously playing it is a different story, but when I watch it and I see the gameplay, it reminds me of like what was the Ghost Recon game that came out for the PS?
Future Soldier?
Future Soldier. That's what it reminds me of. And I feel like a lot of these games that are coming out are the same games, just reskinned. I feel like the mechanics haven't really changed from game to game, especially like something like the Division, which is a third-person shooter, correct? Over the shoulder kind of camera.
Yeah, over the shoulder.
I feel like it's just reskinned, and you're just set in new environments. I feel like there's not it doesn't feel different.
Like a brand new IP.
Right, and I know when people say, "Oh, it doesn't feel a certain way," or it feels a certain way, that's to the individual. But I know, like for me, like if I go and play Grand Theft Auto 5, and then I play Call of Duty, and then I play Need for Speed, and then I go and play Battlefield. Battlefield feels extremely different than Call of Duty. They're both first-person shooters, but feel extremely different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's true. One thing I am going to say, though, because Call of Duty and Battlefield are from two different developers, obviously.
Okay, so...
no, I would say... You know what I would say? I would honestly say Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 4. Because obviously they were based off of two different time periods, and one of them was more tactical, more of a serious shooter. And Battlefield 4 to me, it's a great game. I just don't see it too tactical. You know what I'm saying? I still see it as an arcade shooter. But as far as that goes, I feel like Ubisoft as a whole has their data, right? Got their data, their whole setup for their third-person shooters or RPGs, and I feel like they've been using this same data for years because Future Soldier and Watch Dogs, with the exception of Splinter Cell, because Splinter Cell was actually really good. Assassin's Creed and the Division all have that similar play style and movement. And I'm just like, yo, when are they going to implement these new mechanics, new features, and some of the stuff they're lacking? I'm just like, was there a need for it? Like the jumping, the maneuverability in the games and stuff, and the mobility of the game, and just getting around in the game, it just doesn't make sense. And I'm like, they're using the same formula as Watch Dogs, the over the shoulder when you're shooting. I think the Division actually did a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie, they kind of switched it up. This weekend they had over 6 million people playing that game. 6 million people logged in playing it. I guess this was across all platforms, which is a good thing. Some of the cons that people were saying was that it was still feeling sponginess. They were complaining a lot about the health on the AI enemies because a lot of people still want that tactical feel. Remember, it was based on this disease and outbreak that went through banknotes and spread it around the whole city of New York. And the fact of survival, why are we getting a game like this, but it's not playing the way it feels it's designed to be played? Like and the picture in front of us looks like a survival game of looting and taking out enemies and not trying to be found and just trying to survive, go to safe zones and build up your own little base and try to just work your way to just complete the story missions. But when you're playing the game, it feels like it's not intended that way, with the exception of the Dark Zone. And the Dark Zone is very rewarding. It's way more, I can say, tactical, more serious, and you got to be way more strategic. You got to think a lot. You got to think smart. You got to be with your teammates, and that's like the best thing about the game, because a lot of people were saying they love Dark Zone. Now I'm like, why don't they make that whole game Dark Zone? Now I don't know if you know, but the Dark Zone is basically a part of the city which was hit hard with this virus, and when you go into that part of the city, it's like no holds barred, like it's all survival. So basically, no, what were you gonna say?
No. I was just gonna say, I think that I can't give it an official score because the game looks beautiful from the videos I've seen. I haven't played it yet, so I can't give it an official score. I'm just saying, like, from what I see, well, from what I can tell, it kind of feels the same, right? It's not like when you jump from Advanced Warfare to Black Ops 3, you notice a difference in the feel of the game. But what you're saying is if the Dark Zone is something that everyone loves and they're saying that they should expand on that, then there's a reason why they drop betas. So you listen to the gamers out there, and then you make those necessary changes if enough people say that. But what happens is, I feel with betas, is that not really much changes from the beta to the official release. Like, I feel like there's little things that change, but not enough to say, all right, this was a massive overhaul. Because when does the beta release? In a couple months?
The game releases the releases like in a couple weeks.
That's
in
how
March.
I know that it's a finished game, right? The beta that people get is a finished game, and you'll get updates and patches later on.
Well, not yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Not really finished, but like that's what we're gonna get basically. Because if the game was finished, it would have gone gold. We would have got a great beta, with the exception of complaints on why people don't like this part of the game or that part of the game. There's still bugs in the game. And my bad to cut you off. Just if you want, continue what you was gonna say, and I'll just go off of that.
No, I was just gonna say, like I said, if you're gonna release a beta on a game like that, and you were serious about delivering the game that people wanted, then you would drop the beta in January, but the game wouldn't release till November, December, so you can work out all the kinks and give the fans a flawless game,
exactly.
Right? Or not a flawless, because that's kind of hard.
But that's the ambition. That's the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
The ambition, the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at something like Grand Theft Auto, the reason why it generated $1 billion or whatever is because till this day, you go back and play Grand Theft Auto 5, it's an incredible game. You have a lot of fun. The game is so massive and there's so much to do that when you compare other titles to it, and I get it, they may not be AAA or whatever, it's like, if that's the standard of like what you can do, then there's no reason why, if you are a big developer, why you can't create something that is just as good in another department.
Exactly, or better. Because with game, and that's what I hate though. I actually hate when people compare all these games to Grand Theft Auto. But you want to know something true that you made a point of? The fact that you can set the standard or even push boundaries when you do games like that. These third-person open-world games, whether they're just like Grand Theft Auto or not, that's not the case. But what you can see in Grand Theft Auto and everything you can do in Grand Theft Auto, and you're as big as a developer generating millions or even billions of dollars, your company. What I don't understand, and you know what, I need to get into that because the whole investor thing, I know people are going to get at me with that. But the fact that The Division is not a bad game, but my take, what I would have hoped and expect in the future is that instead of this one location being the Dark Zone, because it's literally one part of the game, one little part of the game, a couple blocks, where it's closed off and you have to enter this room. You and your boys got to enter like this vacant area, and then you get into the Dark Zone, right? So I was suggesting that, and I also feel like even with the expansions of the extra boroughs that are coming in, they're gonna add dead zones in that part, like one. Yeah. I actually think and suggest that the whole game should have a lot of different areas of Dark Zone. You know, with the exception of you leaving and then having the regular outside locations, but they should have a lot. They should have many Dark Zone locations with rarities and different crazy amount of loot. And just the experience of just like, yo, we enter this is gonna be fucking hard as hell. This is gonna be difficult as hell. It's almost like an
Last
replay.
of Us.
Yeah, it's almost like The Last of Us with a bunch of replay value with the Destiny version of Raid. Basically, with the exception of just it's not really a base mission, but you're going into a location to survive. And excuse me, but I think that would keep the game going.
You know, I think it's one of those things where it's one of those times where even though there's bootlegging and people not spending as much, the one thing I know for certain is people will spend money on things that they feel are worth it. If you look at Deadpool is the #1 movie in America because people wanted to see it, so people will spend the money. With developers, you just have to create that thing that gamers crave. Create something different, create something unique, create something that sets a whole nother standard instead of giving us, the same game over and over, which, a lot of game companies do. They kind of they know that we're going to eat it up because we just want new maps or we just want new skins. But what happens is that stops progression.
that stops progression, and that doesn't leave you room for any new ideas, because you're actually, when you see that something is hitting the mark, you try or tend to stay on the same balance or same scale or same subject on it. I mean, we've seen it. Almost every major publisher has a studio that keeps repeating almost the same games. Activision got the main one, Call of Duty. EA has has the same one, which is really just, I guess, NBA Live a little bit, or Battlefield. You have Ubisoft, which has the Assassin's Creed series, which is just like ridiculous right now. Like, nobody even gives a fuck about that game anymore. It's that bad that every time the game comes out, it has almost the same issues, and it just feels like a total reskin. The voice acting is okay, I'm not gonna lie, but still.
This is the thing about back to the standard, right? When we were talking about comparing to Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Grand Theft Auto 5 was a PS3 game. You're talking about a last-gen game.
Wow.
That still holds like a certain standard, right? You're not talking. It's not the now gen. I don't even say next gen, because the shit's the now gen.
The current gen, yeah.
Yeah, it's been out for what, like 6 years?
What, the current gen?
Yeah.
No, PS3's been out. PS4?
No, PS4.
Been out for 3 years. It's going on 3. Jason,
damn,
I'm deleting this. I'm deleting this part. You're gonna. Oh, you just lost Mad Street cred, cuh.
I felt like it's fine. Brad, I felt like it's just been out for so long.
You know what it was? I think I can help answer that. It's the fucking remastered games we've been getting that seem. It's a lot of the remasters, but you know what? I think what you're trying to say is that I think The Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto together makes the Division, right? Not saying that's the game, no. But the survival open world with looting and everything was what we wanted for years. When we said The Last of Us, a lot of people say, yo, I just want this open world game of like The Last of Us. Then we get the game Division. That shit drew us all in, because we're like, yo, an open world game of survival with this sort of epidemic, this crazy epidemic that's going on. And it's in the city of New York. Like, this is amazing. When you get the game, they delivered such an experience that I'm just like, oh my God, it really brings you in. But it just draws me out when I see that they could have delivered certain parts. Like I said, the sponging hit markers, or, you know, with enemies not dropping fast enough. It seems so arcadey and so chilled when they do that. And I do not. That's such a turn off for me. I think if they would have came out with the tactical route where one shot to the head, drop the enemy, and make the AI smart. Son, the game would have been so much engaging, bro.
Well, I was just about to say that. I was going to say, from the videos I watch, you know, like when you shoot them and then the points kind of pop up above their bodies and stuff. I'm like, if you would have made this whole thing kind of like The Last of Us, where like they get a couple of shots and they're dead, or one headshot, they're dead, then, and it's the same for you too. You get a shot a couple of times or a headshot, you're dead. Now there's that thrill of like, oh shit, let me really go through these cars quiet, because somebody might see me and take my head off.
There's more ambition. There's more striving, I guess, for what you're trying to complete in game. I think that, with a combination of whatever achievements you guys have or whatever is in the game to help you survive, I think people would really, really go for it, because that is an experience that I've been saying I want consoles to get for a long time. So if we would have had that, and like you said, the point system, I wouldn't mind if they, I guess, if you shot somebody in the head and they gave you like 150 points and it popped up. That's cool, all right, I get it. But the fact that once you're in this world and you're like, yo, this shit look crazy, and as soon as you shoot the enemy, it's like this whole arcade shit just comes out of nowhere, and I'm just like, oh, that just drew me out a little bit. And I get it, you need something to level up, but then give us like what do you call it,
but you save that for Borderlands, right? You save that kind of style of play,
Borderlands and Destiny.
Yeah, that's what you say that for, because even like the whole scheme of it, the feel of it, the colors, it matches that. When you go into a dark, gritty, you know, there's a few of us left, we're looting, we're trying to survive. It's like you have to, on that end too, you have to give that certain level of realism and intensity. I know it's a video game, and like I said, I can't give it an official score because I haven't played it yet, and I'll know when I actually play the real copy that drops. But you have to give a certain like oh shit, they're shooting at me, like
especially when you're playing with your teammates.
Exactly, like you said with the Dark Zone, right? Could you imagine you have 30 teams from around the world all in this city, and if any of them get shot 1 or 2 times, they're dead? Do you know how intense that is and how it would change the whole dynamic of it? It'd be like a clusterfuck of search and destroy, but everyone has one life until like the next round
And
starts, or whatever it is.
And not only that, you're losing whatever you looted if you didn't. Because you remember Metal Gear Solid had that whole damn, I forgot what it was, where you got to you attached it to this balloon shit and it went up.
Yeah.
Well, they had that system in the Division. Whatever you loot and find, if it's a rare item, the only way you get to keep it outside of the Dark Zone, and it's an infected weapon. The only way you get to keep this is if you damn, I forgot the name of that system, but where you shoot it up, you call in whatever the helicopter and and when me and Chase did it, a whole bunch of other actual players was like, hold on, and they put their weapons with ours so that it can loot up. So everybody comes together, but after that, it's one of those, be careful, because now they're your fucking enemy. You don't know what's going on. They could shoot you, they could shoot me. They know they're not losing their weapons because the thing just got zipped up, and I guess it got taken into their inventory. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this: when you guys are playing, when the enemies come close, can you hear their voices? Because that would be a good feature, yo. When enemies come close, and like you push a button because you want peace, like you don't want to fight, so you push like triangle, circle, or some shit, and then they can hear you, where they can be like, "Yo, we just want to throw our guns in that loot."
Well, all right, they don't. They have that system where they can hear us. They can definitely hear you if you have your mic on. If you're not in party chat, you know what I'm saying. If you're in regular chat, they can hear you. I'm glad they actually don't have that system where it's like in GTA 5 where it got like that passive mode or whatever, where they just can't kill you because they now destroy the whole mode of being in the Dark Zone. Now I'm not saying that it takes long, but you're like, damn, if this was like a hardcore mode and there was like 5 enemies with 2 actual players with headshots each, I could have just pinned them down, period. And that's the point. You want that thrill. You want that, and even if you do die in the Dark Zone, you want it to where all, your teammates, the 4 teammates or 3 teammates that you come in with, you got other teammates that are in the same zone, Dark Zone, looking for the same shit you're looking for. And they're looking to come out with items and loot. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point. But when you implement this system of arcade style with the points, I feel like, honestly, just before we get off this subject, I feel like they didn't know, or they didn't have another way to level up or progress your player, because that main point system with the hit markers and everything, that actually increases. I think it falls under the category of increasing your leveling. I can be wrong, but I know that when you kill enemies, that does come into progression for your level. If they could implement a better system to level up your character, I think it would have done better. You know what I'm saying? Maybe surviving a certain amount of time, looting a certain amount of items, some bonus challenges, some go into here and destroy all this and maybe come bring us back this and you'll get some leveling. Other stuff could have done better, but that's just one of my biggest gripes with this game. But hopefully, Jay, you get a hold of it when the game comes out. I'm actually going to cop this maybe on console. Maybe we could both go half on it. Oh yeah, we could red box it, you know what I'm saying? Because I got it on PC already. $23 code.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? I got it for $23 on Kingdom.
Hold up though. If I have 16 gigs of RAM, an i5 processor, and like 3 gigahertz or whatever, I should be able to run games pretty decent, right?
Is that your laptop or PC?
That's my PC.
What kind of graphics card you got?
I don't know. Maybe not.
We'll check. We'll check after, because that sounds like it's a decent. i5 can definitely run games. I've tested games on i5. I've built PCs for people where they use i5, and they told me they had no problem. But moving on, because like I said, Division has so much potential. I hate using that word, potential. Let me see. Oh yeah, the Street Fighter. Man, I need to clear. I need to clear up some stuff, man. Is there anything you want to say about Street Fighter at all?
This is my thing, right? I'm a fan. It's kind of like this, right? Like when you play something like Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and you're able to fly around and go up and down, and there's kind of like this big arena where you can fight in, or even like the Sega Dreamcast Power Stone, where you can run around and pick shit up and throw. Like when you play those style of fighting games, it's very hard for me to go to a 2D scroller where you fight left to right. Like for me, it feels so Stone Age that I get people love it. But for me, I'm like, I want to be able to do so much more, especially in the age where we have the PS4, the Xbox One, and phones are pushing the capabilities that they're able to. Could you imagine, and for those of you who don't know, go look up gameplay of like Power Stone 2. But something like that with super updated graphics and Street Fighter characters or Mortal Kombat characters or King of Fighters or whatever. You'll see what I'm talking about on how epic that would be. to me, left to right, down forward, square, down back, circle, hold down, push up, triangle. Like, I'm like, it just feels so old to me.
I can understand that. I am gonna say you see, me and you guys different tastes because I love Xenoverse, I love Dragon Ball Z games, I love Budokai Tenkaichi, I also love Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, 1, 2, and 3. I love the 2D style too, the scroller. The thing about Street Fighter is it will forever be in my library of favorite games, although I was so out of sync with the story, right? I was watching the Team Green podcast, Megas, KDG, and a few others. They were telling the story a little bit about these characters, and I love that, Street Fighter at least has a story. They have a formula, they got a background. One thing I'm still upset with this game is that it's still not a finished product, and people are giving excuse to where, even though I was giving it shit because it doesn't give the people who play single player an experience, and that doesn't mean you're casual, because you could be a beast and learn off of single player. It feels like the game came out only for those who've been a veteran of the game. And I'm like, I'm not a veteran of the game. I've been playing the game for years. I played it years ago. But the fact that I feel like it gave no option or opportunity for anyone new to come in, it was definitely a rushed game. And
well, there's no reason Street Fighter it shouldn't be perfect. When you compare it to other games, it's a simple game. There's no reason why it shouldn't be perfect. And I get it. There's thousands of pages of code, and it's not simple. But comparing it to other games, like something like The Division, it's an extremely simple game. There's no reason why you've had the same style of fighting since Super Nintendo that it should not be perfect. You're basically updating the visuals. And obviously someone's going to say, yeah, there's extra moves and this. Of course there is.
Yeah, there is, of course.
But you're really updating the visuals. Like, it should be perfect.
Well, yeah, and being perfect obviously is impossible for games, but the fact that this game is a veteran at this style, like, this game lives up as far as this is like one of the top fighting games, along with Tekken, even fucking Killer Instinct. You got Injustice, you got the Mortal Kombat games, you got there's some other fighting games, but this game has the formula. It always had the formula, right? That's why it's a very huge competitive game. But the fact that I was upset because I'm like, there's really no U versus CPU. There's no arcade in the game. They said they're bringing it later along with their story. I'm like, okay, the game was obviously not finished because it was supposed to release in 2017. But because of all the hype and everything that it was getting, and because of the fact that with the little bit of characters that it has, it can release now because of any upcoming tournaments. Yeah, I get it. You released an unfinished product, but for $60, and they said they are releasing the other DLC for free, which I can appreciate that too, because I feel like when the DLC, everything comes down to play, because and as far as patches and everything, the bugs and fixes and stuff, I feel then the game is going to be complete. So whoever did pay now, don't worry, because the game will be complete soon, or sooner or later. But I'm just thrilled. I'm just crazy because I'm bugged out because the game right now, for me, wasn't working again, right? So that's why I got rid of it back in the Steam fucking refund and shit, right? I got rid of it. I think I'm gonna rebuy it for consoles. Not yet. Maybe if I get somebody to split 30-30, because I don't want to feel like I got ripped for 60. But it says the Street Fighter V servers are undergoing schedule maintenance, closed indefinitely. You know what indefinitely means? With a mediocre story, comic book looking story mode where it's like 2 fights and you're done. That was. I still can't get over that. That's pointless. That shouldn't even have been in the game. I guess if you want to read a little bit about the character, that's fine. But that shouldn't even have been in the game. If that was the case, you were focusing more on competitive multiplayer. Why the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Now, I am going to say that the mechanics of the game, the movement, the playability of the game, I think that was even a fucking made up word. I just said playability. Is that a new word I just made up? 3MG Nation Dictionary right there. But the fact that how fluid this game is, really that fluid. Like, I had my moments where I glitched a little bit, but I had my moments where the game was running so smooth, the combos, the visuals, everything, the vistas of the whole game was looking amazing. That's the upsetting part. They had that there. They had something there. But I feel like they just rushed the game. And I'm just like, for what? It wasn't like there was going to be a competitor to come in and throw you guys out. Why the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So you released the game, and now look, it's going through so much fucking server issues. You're giving it such a bad taste. Capcom, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, you basically closed out this game to anyone who just wants to really jump into the game and even want to get into maybe in the future of tournaments. because you basically just released this shit for only competitive players. I mean, yeah, I'm upset, but this leaves no excuse to why people are saying, well, I only got it for the multiplayer. There's no excuse. You still pay $60 fucking period.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You still paid $60 for a video game that doesn't have shit in it. It's like 35% completed. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I got nothing else to say about Street Fighter. Fuck Street Fighter right now. For now.
I got something to say about Street Fighter. I want that sequel with Jean-Claude Van Damme, though, bruh.
He's a... You mean the movie?
Yeah.
Yo, that movie was ass, yo. You liked it?
Man, no. Listen.
Oh.
I have this thing, yo. Like, me and my wife every Sunday, yo, we watch like 80s, early 90s movies. And I got a thing for like those 80s, early 90s movies. And I was a fan growing up with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I'm a huge fan of him and Steven Seagal, both of them too.
So, yeah, and the thing is, I'm the type of dude where growing up in Street Fighter, I was hyped. I was like, yo, they're creating a live-action Street Fighter. Woo! When I watched it as a kid growing up, I thought that shit was fly. Now, if you go back and watch it, I mean, it's the same with Mortal Kombat, yo. When that shit came out, I was hyped, though. When Scorpion was fighting Johnny Cage, though, and Sub-Zero did that backflip, it was like the little tuck, I was like, oh, shit.
Now you go back to it?
Now you go back and watch it, you're like, yo, what the fuck is this? Yo, who you know spit to the train that goes by? XYZ and 3MG, we stay fly. Get up on the microphone, you know I freestyle off the top because I'm in my garage in my home.
You buns, yo.
Yo, girl, now slam. She say she wanna go home. Girl, I'm a bag of stones. Girl, I hope you ain't shake, no. She be like, girl, written shit. All right. Wait, I was about to spit some written shit.
You give my fingers a cramp, son. Nah, but this is the wrap up, man. Oh man.
We out, yo. It's your boy XYZ Vegeta.
It's your boy
Gamertag
3MG.
Podcast 3MG Nation, though.
And we out. Have a good one. Yo.